from each happily ever after, every wish upon a star. Let's break down the movies that shaped who we are, from memory lane to now and everything in between. The most famous of films to the ones we've never seen. Decade by decade, all the times we laughed and cried, and with a little pixie dust, they will all take flight, reliving the feelings, and we're trying our very best. And if they mean the same to you, please be our guest. So hop aboard, we would love to have you as we hang with a certain mouth, the whole gang too. If you love nostalgia stuff, we hope this does the trick. Thanks for joining us as we deep dive the magic.
Welcome back to the Deep Diving the Magic podcast. I'm KJ.
And I am Jeffrey. And we are back today with the 164th Disney feature-length film from July the 24th of the year 1985. It is the film The Black Cauldron. The Black Cauldron is another theatrical release. It is also back to the animated classics. It's been a while since we've had one of these. The Black Cauldron is based on a couple books, The Book of Three and The Black Cauldron by Lloyd Alexander. And before I dive too deep into some other facts, which I'll just start us off with a synopsis about The Black Cauldron, film number 164.
A young boy and a group of misfit friends embark on a quest to find a dark magic item of ultimate power before a diabolical tyrant can.
Yeah. So this isn't the most popular of animated classics, or the most well known about animated classics.
I feel like I've definitely heard
Mm-hmm.
the name before and thought I had seen it, but obviously after watching it confirmed that I had not seen it.
Yeah, so a couple things about this film before we talk about thoughts and stuff. This was the first animated film by Disney to receive a PG rating. It was also the first animated film by Disney to be computer generated. It was also the most expensive animated film ever made at the time. And it was a box office bomb. It was a box office bomb so much that it put the Disney animation department in jeopardy.
Well,
It was originally scheduled for release in 1984, but they had to several scenes had to be removed after test screenings, thought they were too scary. So it was kind of I don't know the word for it is, but like it was doomed from the start, I guess is one way to put it.
yeah.
They didn't release it on home video until like 1998 because it just was it was not what they wanted to happen. So we're gonna talk about your thoughts, your facts, your whatevers before we jump right into the Black Cauldron.
I felt like it was several movies combined,
Okay.
but they were movies that came after. So I feel like this may have inspired some of those things. Like some of the characters reminded me of The Little Mermaid.
Okay.
Specifically the boy, he kind of has like features of Ariel. Um, the story itself, and I'm assuming it's a dog. I think I looked it up and couldn't figure out what that little guy was. Um, but the quest and everything, and especially the dog, reminded me of Lord of the Rings. And I don't remember exactly what his name was because I really couldn't understand what they were saying. But I felt like the little dog creature was very reminiscent of Gollum.
Okay.
Um,
Gurgi.
okay, yes. And in his mannerisms, how he talked, um, a lot of it reminded me of Gollum. And then I meant to look it up to see if the guy that did his voice was the same person that did Gollum's voice. Because I was like, this is very Gollum-esque, I guess.
I
Um,
mean, I doubt that it was the same voice, but I
Probably
could
not,
tell you
but
right now.
it was super close. Um, anyway, and I feel like there was one you at one point I think was like, this looks like the Keebler elves,
Hmm.
and it did kind of have some reminiscent features of Keebler elves at one point. Um, I don't know. There was one other movie that it reminded. Oh, Fantasia. It also reminded me of Fantasia, bits and pieces of Fantasia. Um,
Okay.
and Hocus Pocus. It also reminded me of Hocus Pocus. There were several movies that it reminded me of. Um, The Witches reminded me of the three witches for Hocus Pocus.
They wish.
Um, you have the one that's kind of like a little bit over the top and man crazy, I guess, and the one that's kind of the brains that kind of drives things, and then the not so smart one, I guess. So I don't know. There was lots of films that it reminded me of. So
So you want to jump right into the forgotten animated classic that is the Black Cauldron?
yes,
So then kick us off in the world of Black Cauldron here.
I did.
Okay, then I'll take over from the world of Black Cauldron over here.
Thank you.
There is a evil guy, the Horned King, who's supposedly the most evil of all
You
evils.
look like Skeletor. That's who you reminded me of.
Um, and there's this dude who is a pig farmer who wants to be a noble warrior guy,
Yeah.
and he works with this other guy named Dalbin, who we find out is like an enchanter himself. And they use this pig that they have to basically use the pig's powers to discover that the Horn King is coming for the Black Cauldron or something.
So, time out. You said you found it weird that he would be in Lord of the Rings and voice this guy's voice, but he was also in things like The Angry Beavers
Hmm.
and
But
Rugrats.
he was not in the Lord of the
And the
Rings.
last thing he was in 2022.
Yep, but he was not in the Lord of the Rings.
Well, they missed the calling because that was the original voice.
So
Sorry,
we got this
back to it.
pig. Go
Yes,
ahead.
an enchanted, I guess, an enchanted special magical pig
Henwen. Um, uses his oracle powers.
with water.
Is basically that the Horn King is searching for the Black Cauldron, which is a mystical relic that can create like this army of the undead warriors. So they fear that the Horn King might be coming for the Henwen, and then so
Well,
they
we saw from Hinwen's, I guess, ability in the water that the Horn King knew about the Black Cauldron, knew it was still around, and knew that Hinwen could help him find it. And then that's when the old keeper, discovered that he knew about Hinwen. So he's like, he's coming for this pig.
so they have to get the pig to safety, but ends
Hmm.
up not going to safety. Um, they that's where they meet Gurgi, your little boy there, and then he wants to be their friend.
Do you also think Gertie was a dog? I
Oh,
think I asked you when he first popped up, and I was like, what is that? Because it never
yeah.
specifically says, and you're like, I guess we'll find out, and it never said, so I was upset.
They end up getting captured, thrown into a dungeon where they meet this princess lady, girl who helps get them free. Um, then they end up getting like they running into all these things of like chambers of the kings and stuff. Where am I? He ends up getting a sword. Am I missing anything here about this? He gets like a sword that has powers and
Yeah, the girl gets him out, he ends up finding a sword in like a crypt.
hmm
It was like on top of a tomb for a guy, and he was like, well, he's no longer needing it or gonna use it, so he takes it and then finds out that it has the magical powers and nothing pretty much can stop him as long as he has the sword.
there's like an old man prisoner guy who comes with them.
Mhm.
Um, but they there's also like the Horn King has like this like oh I don't know what he's called. What's the dude called from like Frankenstein?
The creator? Like the
No,
evil scientist that made him?
no. Igor. There's like an
Oh,
Igor like guy who's works for the Horn King and I don't know. There's a bunch of hijinks. They end up getting stuck with the fairies. Want to talk about the fairies?
yeah, the fairies are like these tiny little guys that look like the Keebler elves,
hmm
but also like Christmas. Like their king looks like Santa Claus. He doesn't have a crown. He has like a hood that looked like Santa Claus, and it looked like they had little antennae on their heads. I
But
don't
they
know.
they have the pig and they reveal where the cauldron is.
Hmm.
Um, so the boy is going to try to destroy this,
Yeah.
and they have to go to like the marshes or whatever, and they just like they learn that the cauldron is being held by these three witches that you talked about earlier. Um,
With the personalities of the Sanderson sisters.
I guess I didn't grab that, but that makes sense. Um, they they make him trade his sword
Time
for.
out.
Go ahead.
They had the personality of the Sanderson sisters, but they look like what is the witch lady that turns herself into the dragon? The purple, like the purplish dragon or whatever,
Yeah,
fighting Merlin.
from the sword and the stone.
Yeah, that's what they look like,
Man.
but with the personality of the Sanderson sisters. Okay,
Um, the witches think that the cauldron is indestructible. Uh,
and can't really be used by anyone.
no, it could basically only be broken if somebody willingly climbs into it, which will kill them. The boy is all upset that he traded his sword for nothing, but his companions continue to like tell him it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. We're going to do this. They're captured by the Horn King, and the he uses the cauldron to raise the dead, like he could do with the cauldron, and it all begins to kind of pour out into the world. And then the little Gurgi guy decides that he's going to come back to save his friends, and the boy is like, you know what? I'm just going to jump into this cauldron to save everyone. But then the little Gurgi guy jumps in instead.
Hmm.
Anything?
Well, Gurgi did it because he feels like the boy is his only friend,
Mm-hmm.
and he can't let the boy sacrifice himself because Gurgi only has one friend.
Not anymore.
So, but you have many friends, so he just jumps off into the thing. No, Gurgi.
Um, and then
He really was growing you.
everything kind of starts to be destroyed. The boy is then confronted by the Horn King,
Hmm.
who kind of like the battle begins, but then the Horn King is dragged in and violently ripped apart while the castle's being destroyed by the cauldron.
Hmm.
And The three witches come back. They see Gurgi's true friendship, um, which they bring Gurgi back to life in exchange for the cauldron. And then they give him back the sword. And yeah, that's our film. I don't know. What else? What else did I miss?
Well, it's a bargain. We'll do a bargain. So they ended up getting the sword back, and
Hmm.
Gurgi, because the old man that had the, not really, I guess it is a harp, but it's not really a harp, like a little harp.
Hmm.
Um, and from what I gathered, that harp would tell if he was telling a lie.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like the strings would break on it one at a time if he was lying about something. I don't know. Um, he was also an interesting character. Um, I honestly, I don't know exactly. I guess I was thinking that the sword and the stone, this was the sword and the stone,
No, I wish this was the Sword and Stone.
but I think that's the movie in my head I had it mixed up with and thought I had watched, but obviously hadn't and wasn't sure about it. But I ended up liking it a lot more than I think you did.
Could you tell?
Well, I think it's just because I think the only reason I liked it was because I made the parallels of things like the Sanderson sisters, the Lord of the Rings, and Gollum, and oh, he kind of looks like Ariel.
I mean, some people like this film. It just wasn't my favorite
I liked
animated
it way
classic.
more than I thought I would.
Well, I am happy you did.
Anyway, so IMDb rated this a 6.3 out of 10. Does that surprise you?
They made everything a 6 point something out of that.
I gave it an 8 out of 10. But it does not beat the Apple Dumpling Gang.
So it doesn't make the list.
No,
Animated classic
it did
looks
not bargain its way.
lost its way to history.
Did not bargain its way onto my list.
So then what is your list upon a star?
Starting at 10, the Apple Dumpling Gang. The Apple Dumpling Gang rides again. The Undergrads. Dumbo. Sleeping Beauty. The Parent Trap. The Fox and the Hound. Tex. 101 Dalmatians. And The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh.
So I had a goal for myself when we started this to not make my top 10 only animated classics, and films like this help that happen because this was definitely not making my list upon a star. I am sorry for those that enjoy it. I have some friends that really like this film, and I'm happy that they do. But my list upon a star is staying the same at number 10, Peach Dragon, number 9, Bedknobs and Broomsticks, number 8, Alice in Wonderland, number 7, The Fox and the Hound, number 6, Robin Hood, number 5, Peter Pan. Number 4, The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. Number 3, Mary Poppins. 2, The Rescuers. And number 1, 101 Dalmatians. And we'll put that somewhere on the screen. But yeah, so we watched The Black Cauldron finally.
Mm-hmm.
The
But
Lost Classic.
before you dive into what's next, both of us had this on our list. The 101, or not the 101, The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. And we just had breakfast with them
We
recently.
did. I would do it again.
And I don't know what their lunch is like, but I would highly recommend their breakfast.
Sounds good. I'd do it.
And unlike us, you should know before you go there that they had churro waffles, so you can get some because we have to go back now because we did not know that.
I mean, we go there enough. Hey, you know what? Speaking of tying those two together, I read something about this. Hold on, let me see if I see this in my notes. That
About Winnie the Pooh
no,
or
much
about the Black
much
Quadrant.
worse. Yes. Um, Lancer's Inn. There was a restaurant themed to the Black Cauldron at Walt Disney World. It was Gurgi's Munchins, Gurgi's Munchings and Crunchings, which is now
Hilarious.
which is now the Friar's Nook.
Oh, and they changed it. Yeah,
Gurgi's
'cause
Munchies and Crunchies is now the Fryer Nook.
yeah, because one of Gurgi's quotes was, "Oh, poor miserable Gurgi deserves fierce smackings and whackings on his poor tender head, always left with no munchings and crunchings."
So he had
That makes me sad that they changed
it's
it.
the Fryer Nook.
Well, that's not what I'm going to call it.
And in between that it was Lumiere's kitchen. But yeah, it's the Friar's Nook. So if you ever want to go there and get
Munchings and crunchings.
there you go. But yes, we watched this film.
I
I
wonder
don't
if
know.
anybody there that works there, like if you were like, is there any munchings and crunchings, if
Dude,
they would know what you're talking about.
people that work there weren't even born in 85.
I don't care.
You know who else
If you
wasn't
work
born in
at
85? Us.
But yeah, if you know, if you work at Disney, I feel like you should know the history of what you're working in.
Yeah, we weren't born for it either, and this is a film that everyone forgets. But either way, we watched it in a film number 164, a theatrical release. And our next film is film number 165, which we're staying in the theatrical releases, but we're leaving the animation side and going to the real life side. We're staying in 1985 and we'll go over to September of 85. And like I said, film number 165, it is a film called The Journey of Natty Gann, which I look forward to talking to you about next time.
Thanks for deep diving the magic.
Bye.